What's going on, my YouTube family? I just got done watching what I feel like was the best episode of season 11 so far. There wasn't a whole lot that changed, but what did made the episode so much better. The same stuff is still going on my channel. $500 when I hit 50,000 subscribers, and I'm also giving away $50 to the best package that I get that comes to the P.O. box that you can see on the screen right now. I don't care what it is, whether it be a letter, it doesn't have to be the most expensive thing, it just has to be the best. We'll make that decision as a channel on what the best thing was. Send it there, but first I do want to say that all the overlaying videos, as always, was donated or given to me by Tom 80 Videos. Link at the top of the screen right now. The best episode we've seen so far, and with no further ado, let's kick this video off right here. The first thing that I want to talk about is the very beginning of the shows in the past couple of seasons. Used to, there was about 30 minutes of we get to watch them build a car, work on a car, and that sort of thing, and then about 30 minutes of racing. And now it pops up race night in about 15 minutes into the show. And you would think that would be a good thing because that meant there was more racing in the episode. But no, is what they are doing now. Every episode is the races that happened the week before. It shows the guys tinkering a little bit with something with their car, just kind of messing with something and explaining exactly what happened the week before. I guess it's just in case people didn't see it, or I don't know, but it just shows clips of what happened in the race from the week before, why they lost, why they won, what they got to upgrade because of who they're going to race. And then it, boom, it says race time. And then tonight, the whole Chuck drama started right off the bat, and I kind of see both sides of it. And when we saying that, I'm probably going to have to side with Chuck. And the reason I say that is because I feel like Shane knows he hasn't evolved enough to stay on the show anymore. And, you know, there's some cars out there that is faster. Kamikaze will be faster. You know, Reaper, I do feel like he is faster. Shane had his time. He made it to number 3. And he's not going to ever make it in the top 5 again. That car will make 1 in 10 pass, but the other 9 is just a A to B pass, and, you know, hey, he's done good. He, you know, went to the finals in cash days against the Bird Brothers. He does do well, but he's not going to stay with that caliber of cars all the time. If it's his night, it's his night. But, you know, that, when he won cash days or runner-up or whatever you want to call it, when that happened, that was just his night. And these other guys are having way more his nights and are consistently being a lot faster. Shane got mad last week because Chuck made a big stink and then said he would race him just to make some more races happen. And then at the end of the night, didn't race him. But, you know, hey, it was like, hey, do I go up there just to show how big my balls are and burn up $30,000 worth of parts, or do I just look stupid for a few minutes and save $30,000? You know, hey, $30,000 is a lot of money, and I'd look stupid for a few minutes to save $30,000. Don't blame the guy. Well, in the driver's meeting, I feel like part of that was Shane wanting to pay him back, and part of it was anything that Shane can do to stay on that list longer, whether it be 30 minutes or 3 days, he's going to do. He postponed it as long as he could. If he thought he could have went higher, he'd want to race first, that way to call other people out. And Chuck knows he can do that, so that's what he was doing. Chuck does have the faster car of the two, without a doubt. Chuck has had a few problems this season, and even last season. He said it in the video. But Chuck still has a way faster car than Shane. But the whole deal with Chuck jumping, that was not a jump. I mean, technically, it was a jump. But he never let go of the button. That was a trans brake roll. You know, he was not rolling in. Chuck still bumps in, so if he was, you know, trying to get an advantage, the car would have been jumping more than rolling. That's just the facts of it. But due to a technicality, because Chuck jumped, it wouldn't have mattered where Shane went. Shane could have crossed the center line and he would have still lost because first is worst when it comes to technicality, breaking rules, losing type thing. It's just how it is. And then, I did like how they come together and come up with a solution. And, I honestly had respect for Reaper for not turning right around and calling Chuck out. Chuck kind of bullied his way into it, so to speak. He bullshitted him around, and he didn't want to race down before he raced up. He wanted to jump Shane and go on like he knew he could. He did outrun him. He wanted to do it, but it happened like it happened, and there was a fight. I still think part of that was staged. You heard Shane say, this is going to hurt me. He knew he was fixing to get his ass whooped, but hey, he manned up. If any part of it was real, he did man up. But that's what happened there, and I know, I'll get comments, this way and that way, but that is what I took out of it, and that is what I believe. The next one that I want to talk about is Dominator. Man, he is still doing nothing but impressing all of us. He has just come from absolutely nowhere and is just on top of his game, winning these freaking races and doing awesome. He did lose to Lutz in that last race, but the first one he got him, and he almost come around him in the second one, if he'd have won him in that second one, Lutz couldn't have caught him back out. So, because the spot wouldn't have changed hands, he couldn't have caught him back out, and Dominator keeps on rolling on up.
For the first time in a long time, I really believe I have a #1 car.
So proud to see that car come back. Whether you like that car or not, I'm not a dart guy, but I like Joe, and I'm very proud to see where he's at, and I do think he has a top 5 contender car, and I'm proud for him, and I hope he does keep rolling up. The next race that I want to talk about, and that is between Dave and Chief. Dave has a faster car than Chief. Dave has finally got all his shit together. Dave has finally got his car to a #1 car. Whatever happened, and that's racing. That's why it's not called winning. That's why it's called racing. But Dave had a faster car. When the show first come on, it showed Chief working on a rear end, setting up some gears, whatever, and talking about this gear set's going to be the difference between me winning and losing, the 4 car lengths, whatever. He said, I beat Lutz by a quarter of a car. Dave beat Lutz by 4 cars. So by RISA rules, that means that Dave should beat me by 3 1/4 cars. The 4 car length difference he was talking about was the rear end and all this. It was Dave. It was something wrong with Dave is what that was. That was not nothing to do with the rear end or anything like that. Pure luck. That's all it was. But, hey, luck wins sometimes. Chief gets to hold it for 7 more days. Because I know they ain't going to go out of town next week. But Chief gets to hold it for 7 more days, and it is what it is. But if somebody don't call Dave out, he will race him next week, and he will win. You wait and see. I don't have a doubt in my mind that says he will. He will win next week. You wait and see. In the drivers' meeting, when all of the crap happened with Chuck and Shane, arguing back and forth, they was, naming off the next races. Well, when it got down to Dave and Ryan, Dave looked dead at Shane and moved Shane out of the way and said, I got balls. And, is all that still part of Dave trying to get in people's head, or was he trying to entice him to race because him and Chuck's buddies, or what was it? It is what it is. There was some controversy is the best way I know to say it, about Chief and bringing the light up. It was up early and Dave was dead on it, and Ryan Martin waited. In my opinion, when he pulls you up to the line, you are saying, all right, I am ready for this race. Whenever you bring that light up, I'm going to go, And if there was some sort of conspiracy where him and Dave was like, all right, hey, man, I'm going to bring it up a little bit early. You be ready and go. You go a little bit early, whatever. That will cause you to jump. If you do anything off of your game, it will cause you to jump. Combination of luck and luck is all that happened, and that is it. I don't think that he tried to do it. If Chief was gonna mess up somebody on the light, he would have already done it in the past 10 seasons, and he wouldn't do it right after they claimed this brotherhood crap. I don't think that's what it was. You know, even if it did, which I agree it did come on early, but as many times as he's hit that flashlight, you're bound to mess up once, you know. I mean, that's just human nature. So I don't think there was any crap going on there. I think it was just how it was. So it is what it is. The very last thing I want to say, and it's not about any of the racing, is Richard Ellington, Sean's dad, and that Ranchero that he has. I have watched him build this car through social media for a long time, and that is a beautiful car. I'm not a real big El Camino, Ranchero, half truck, half car type person, but that car is sharp. It's the color, you know. I like everything about it. I think it's real sharp. I'm proud of it. It's a daily driven car, basically is what it is with slicks. You know, a hog ass cam and slicks is what it is. But beautiful ride, proud for him. Looked good, sounded good. You know, got a lot of learning to do. He started late in the game, but he'll get it figured out. He has the Midwest whole crew behind him. But that is going to cut it off right here. Thank you very much for watching. I told you at the beginning of the videos about the giveaways I have going on. We're going to continuously always have a giveaway going on this channel. If you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe button. If you are already subscribed, hit the bell. That way you can be notified when my new videos come out. My email address is right here. Anything you want me to know, anything you need me to know, send it there, and we will do our best to figure out whatever your question, problem, comment, whatever is. But thank you very much for watching. Godspeed. I will see you in the next video.